Welcome folks, this is Karim Raouf from the IT Visualizer channel. Today I will begin explaining the lab of transformers. Okay, mainly it's created from the transformers hobby, but before that I need to make a small introduction about myself. First of all, my name is Karim Raouf. I am graduated from Helwan University, Faculty of Commerce and Business Administration, English section. My major was Business Administration and my final grade was good. I have been working in the IT field for about 15 years, 12 of them and 2 months exactly in the field of hospitality, working in Starwood, okay, and then after it was acquired by Marriott, I have been working there for 12 years, and I was working Sheraton Myanmar Elgona, okay. Before that I was working with an ISP provider. It was famous for its wireless solution. It was exactly, or it was the first, or it was the pioneer in this field, because it was 2002 or 2003. Yes, I began working in 2005. It was the pioneer in this field. Before the technology began to be more easy and more competitors began to emerge in the field, like Orange and Vodafone and etc. of the ISP providers. Okay, it's called Morgan. Before that it was called The Way Out. Okay, I began the certifications to be certified from 2005. Okay, and this is the certificates I got. It is organized from the newest to the oldest one. I am already certified as Microsoft certified technology specialist in Windows Server 2008 and then Windows 7 configuration and Microsoft Exchange 2010, and I am certified as an information technology. And I said before, sorry for the interruption. As I said before, I am a certified ITIL. It's Information Technology Infrastructure Library. It's a certificate mainly about how to manage, not from the IT perspective, but from the management perspective, to have an environment that contains an IT infrastructure and how to manage it effectively. Some management concepts. And then after that, I am certified as a Cisco Certified Network Associate. And then I took, which was newly at that time, it's called Certified Wireless Network Administration. It was provided by a company called CWMP company. This is before Cisco began their certifications for the wireless field. So I took this certificate. Mainly it was the first in the field. And then after that before that I took the MOS, which is Microsoft Office User Specialist, in Word 2002 and Excel 2002. And then the first certificate I took was MCP, Microsoft Certified Professional, in Windows 2000 Track, in Windows 2000 Infrastructure, and Windows 2000 Active Directory, and Windows 2000 Server, and Windows 2000 Professional. And then after that I took most of the certification until 2011, and then after that I took from 2011 to 2016. Mainly I was busy in the operation of the hotel, and in Starwood and Marriott there is a lot of things to do, a lot of standards, a lot of policies. So I didn't upgrade myself all this time, but I began to work with, mainly I found the virtualization technology was fantastic, and I'm not exaggerating if I'm saying that it increased my experience and my technicalities more than the certification that I took maybe 3 or 4 times. So I began working with the virtual labs. Okay, there are some in my YouTube channel. You can all see it will be in the PowerPoint presentation, and some I didn't put. I maybe put later. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have about 12 or 15 labs. Most of them are on the YouTube channel, as I said. Okay, there I worked, for example, the first lab. It's configuring system configuration, Microsoft System Configuration Manager. And then after that there is a lab about the Cisco, how to configure routers and switches according to standard and policy. Then after that we're working with the vSphere environment, how to create a vSphere environment with XI host and working with the vCenter and all of this. And then after that there is the lab of Windows 10 deployment using the Microsoft deployment tool and Windows deployment service. And then there is the Linux lab. Okay, this I have begun working with Linux also to take experience, because my main experience is in the Windows only, Windows environment. So I began working with Linux. I have about 3 or 4 labs in it. And then after that I have the Microsoft Azure lab. It's in my YouTube channel. Okay, also working with the cloud environment, which is the future. Okay, and mostly even the virtualization process or the virtualization technology, the vSphere and all of this became a little bit outdated. The technology or the future is for the cloud environment, which is in 2 main competitors, Microsoft Azure and AWS from Amazon. The link for the YouTube channel or the YouTube playlist is at the bottom. Okay, and then the Microsoft deployment tool, also this is in my YouTube channel, how to deploy Windows 10 in a domain environment from A to Z, as they say, how to make it with zero installation process. Just you have to boot the PC through PXC boot, and then it gets to the server, the HSP server or the Windows deployment server, and gets the image. All of this is done without any intervention. Okay, it's done automatically, and this lab contains all the steps how to do it. Okay, and then after that, this is the Microsoft BitLocker administration monitoring tool. This is a tool that you can use to monitor, to encrypt the PCs of in your domain environment. This is mainly it's used with conjunction with a group policy. You have to have a group policy, and then you install this tool to help you to get reports, which it installs agents on most of the agents on the clients, okay, or the workstation through, and it is deployed through the group policy. And then after that it communicates with the server, and the group policy contains the encryption process, what will be done, and then the agent communicates to get reports and to know the status of each PC after the encryption is done. Also, this lab it is in the YouTube channel. And then there is the Active Directory full migration lab. This is how to migrate from, if you are having a new domain controller or a new domain, for example from domain A to domain B, you want to migrate from an old domain to a new domain. This is how it is done. Okay, this is also in my YouTube channel. It's complete migration, how to migrate users, groups, group policy, shares and folders, and the HCP if there is, and the templates of the file resource manager as well. All of my labs, by the way, are done through PowerShell scripts. The users, creative users, groups and group memberships and computers, all of this is done through PowerShell scripts. It also will be in the description in each video, and it will be on a Google Drive link. Okay, this is the last one. This is also if you want to make a new domain, Active Directory domain, from the beginning to the end, how to make a domain controller and how to make wins DHCP failover. Okay, and also how to make network teaming. Network teaming, it's done through, you have 2 network cards and there is a team, so there is a redundancy. If one of the network cards fail, the other one will work. This is very important in some domain control, and in every domain you have to have 2 to have redundancy. If one failed, the other works. And then also you have to set up the DNS and wins and DHCP over to have 2 DHCP. If the other one fails, the other one will work. Okay, and how to make MAC DHCP. There is the MAC filtering. Okay, this is also how to enable. This is from a security issue. Every PC will not take an IP until it is in the allowed IP list through the DHCP service. Okay, and then how to create files and shares and groups through PowerShell. And then the Active Directory Center group policy. This is mainly done if you want to have group policy is when you install a domain controller, it takes its group policy from destination C Windows policy definitions. Okay, if you have a mixed environment that contains Windows 2008 and 2012 and etc. 2016, every one of them will have a group policy of his own. So this is will make complex, especially if you have all the versions of Windows Server. Okay, so this way you will make a centralized location to put the group policy. All of the servers will take its group policy from this location, and this is recommended, by the way, and it will be done in the lab, and I will show you how to do it. But mainly this is how to make its Active Directory central group policy creation. If you want, you can search Google for the advantages of using this process. There is 4. Okay, I don't remember all of them, but we will see it in the lab. And then after that, through the group policy, you can control off. If you have Chrome and Firefox, you can get the group policy files. It's in .adm or admx. You can put it in the with the group policies of Windows, so you can control, if you have in your environment Chrome and Firefox, you can also control it through group policy. And then also the scripts and backgrounds and screensavers. All of this will be explained later. Okay, and then if you have the file server, you can make some rules. If the shared folder you don't want to have audio or video files, you can do it through the file server. We will see it later also. And there will be some scripts how to get Active Directory live reports to see users. I will show you later also how to get a live report through connecting your Excel to the Active Directory internal database. All of this will be on a Google Drive. Okay, in the description of every video I put on my YouTube channel. Okay, then we will have what is the strategy of our for my labs. Okay, I say before that most of my labs, what makes you see my lab, or what makes the difference between my lab and others' lab. Okay, from my point of view, I have about 6 points to talk about. The first point is working according to standard and policy. Okay, every lab I use, I am working with a standard or policy. For example, if you want to name a server, there is a standard for naming the server. And if I am taking IPs for the server, there is also a standard for the IP for the servers. For example, the servers will take a range from A to B, for example, and then the workstation will take another range. The printers will take another range. All of this is done according to standard. This for mainly to be organized, and every professional organization will work according to a standard or policy. And I think this is not discussed in most of the labs that I see, or most of the lab videos I see on the internet. The second thing, in all of my labs I'm working on the point of the backup. For example, in this lab we will know how to create 2 domain controllers, because this is for a backup. If one of the domain controllers is down, then you can work with the other one. We have 2 DHCP servers also for redundancy or for backup, and then we have network teaming also to have a backup if one of the network teams fail. And normally, if are working in the IT field, okay, you know that most of the HP servers or Dell servers have 4 or 1 or more mechanism for having a backup solution. For example, you have in the server two power supplies for backup. Okay, you have a mechanism for smart array, which I mean that you can, when you install the operating system for the server, you can install them on 2. Mostly you have the first 2 are in one array and the other are in the other array. The first array, this is the system. You can make a mirror. What I mean by mirror, that you can install the system on one hard disk and the other one is a complete mirror. If one of the primary fails, the other one is a complete mirror or complete copy of it. It can work even if one of the hard disk fails. And then after that, you can work with the most famous solution. It's RAID 10. It's minimum of 3 hard disks. What is the RAID 10? For example, if you are working with 4 hard disks and one of them fail, you can work normally. There is no loss in data, and after that you can change the failed hard disk with a complete new one, and there is a mechanism to retrieve what was on the failed hard disk to the new hard disk that is installed. What I want to say that in my labs I have a complete consideration to the backup. You have to have always plan A and plan B. So in all my labs I put this in consideration. All of the lab steps I do, I have in my mind to have a backup. And the security, the third thing, to have a security, you are working with I am working with complex password, and all of the security that normally in a professional environment, the usernames, the password, the complexity, all of this, it's taken into consideration. And the fourth step is searching. For example, we don't all know everything. So if there is something you don't know, you can search it on Google. And I have some mechanism how to search. I hope all of you get. No, I search. For example, I search for something when I don't know it. Okay, there is a mechanism to be easy to find what you see, what you seek. In my lab, you will find this kind of search. Okay, and then there is the documentation. In every lab, I make a complete documentation for all of what I done, the scripts, the users, the configuration. All of this is done in a documentation. Okay, and you can use it later. And also to have a documentation, if you are working in a production environment, you have auditors to come and see your documentation. So this is a part of real life scenarios. And then there is the creativity and uniqueness. Okay, for the creativity and uniqueness, working with to have the IT concepts blended with famous games or movies, like for example our lab, the Transformers. This makes the lab a little to be unique, so you can remember it easily. If you are working with something you love, or for example, most of us, when he wants, for example, to remember something, he learns a song or something he likes, and he remembers what he is studying through the song that he has. For example, we all have good memories. We remember it with the song that we were listening to in this. For example, if you were married, okay, and you have a special song in your marriage, you will remember your marriage through the song. So I am doing this according to the lab. If you have the lab with some uniqueness or something you like through movies or games or something, this is more easily to remember. Okay, this is a small hint about our, let's see, its introduction. We will go to the lab itself. It's the Transformers. Let's open the presentation. Okay, first of all, we are working on Transformers. Who doesn't know Transformers? It's about robots, okay, living on a planet called Cybertron. There is two teams, the good team and the bad team. The good team, it's the Autobots, and the bad team are the Decepticons. Okay, mostly all of the lab, the users and the groups, the group members, all of these are created or I got all of the characters, or all of you work with all of the characters of Transformers and the groups through this series. Okay, so you will see familiar names like Optimus Prime and Megatron. All of this you will see it in the lab as users. So what is the lab scenario? We are working with VM Workstation Pro 15.5. Okay, this is the latest one. And then we are working with Windows Server Data Center 2019, the latest one, 29/12/2019 for December. We have two domain controllers. Every domain controller will have two network cards, and there is a team between them, as we say, for redundancy, our network load balance. And then the domain controller system will be set up on mirror. As I say, there is two hard disks, and it will be mirror for the operating system, and for the data it will be on RAID 10, as I said before from a couple of minutes ago. And there we will install on the two domain controllers Active Directory, DNS, and WINS, and DHCP failover between the two. And there will be a group policy, and we will have file resource manager, or one of them will be the file share server, the second domain controller. And we will have the duplication feature installed. This is a feature that Microsoft introduced. Just if there is duplicate data on your file share server, file shares, it will deduct it. It will discover it and tell you that there is a duplication of data. Then you will set up the Active Directory rights management server. This is a feature that Microsoft introduced just to help us to encrypt data. It's something like identity service, okay, just to know who is who and who to encrypt, whose data belongs to who, and how to encrypt it. I'll use this identity to encrypt data. They will have Active Directory roaming profiles. This to, if a user, for example, have PC A and B, and he connected to the PC A, and he have his profile. This profile contains the desktop icons and everything. If he moves to desktop B, his desktop icons and shortcuts will be transferred with him to the other machine. And then after that we have the file share server, as I said before. We have DHCP MAC filtering, I said before, and all of the users, groups, and everything will be created through PowerShell scripts. Okay, Active Directory, I said before, the Active Directory central group policy creations, and we have also the group policies, the scripts, and everything. And we will work with pfSense firewall. We will explore the features of pfSense. It contains a lot of features. We'll discuss it later. As for the PC workstations, we work with Windows 10 19.09, and I work with LTSC. It's limited edition. It's something that this Windows feature doesn't contain. For example, Edge and Cortana. I prefer this to be as light as possible and doesn't contain a lot of features. It's normally very good for an organization environment. We can work with the enterprise, but you will see how this Windows edition is having a lot of features. This is good for an organization environment. And then we will use something called Microsoft Local Administrator Password Solution. This is simply that when you install a Windows 10 system, okay, you have by default an administrator user. This user, from a security issue, should be renamed to another name, and to change the password of it. This feature, or this local administrator password solution, it's changes the password of the local administrator password of every PC regularly in all interval of times. Every time, for example, every 3 months it changes it, and it's reports it to the Active Directory. We will see this in the future in the lab. We will see it. Okay, this is the lab. Then we will, first of all, we will have this folder. We will work on all of the lab in this folder. Okay, this folder contains all the scripts we will use in this lab. Okay, we can see, for example, I will discuss, this is the first one. It is the background. It contains the background where we'll use. Every user will log into his PC, will have a background. This is the background you will see. Okay, this is the background, and then this is ID logout. This is a small software that logs off the PC or server after an ideal time. You can specify the time you need to make it log off. Okay, we will see how this will done in the lab. And we will have the lock screen. The lock screen also, this is the picture that will appear if you have a lock screen. This is also the background, and the lock will appear through the group policy. Okay, and then we will have these 3 or 4 registry keys. Mainly we will connect it when the first time we create a user in the Active Directory. We have a login script. In this login script, I will put these 4 registry keys to be done or to be applied to the user. What are these keys? The first key is to install the US keyboard layout and the Egyptian Arabic layout the first time the user logs in, and then after that the performance setting. It is something done through this. I will show you. It's from here, properties. Okay, and it's advanced system setting. This is to make the computer a little bit faster. Okay, this is done. It just choose the option adjust for best performance. The first time the user is logging, and then we will have the search hide. When you first also log into the Windows, you will have this icon. Okay, and you will have the search box. I just make a registry key to hide them all, just to make it more easier and not RAM consuming. And the time zone, this is the Egypt time zone. Also, when the user log in for the first time, it gives him the Cairo time zone time. Okay, this is for the first one, for the backgrounds. The second one, this is the script that we will use to create the users in the Active Directory. Okay, we can see that here we have the first name of the user, the last name, the username, the description, the department, the location, the password, the division, the company name, the title, the OU or the organization unit that this user will be created in. Okay, this is most of them. Okay, this is how we will use it. This is the Excel sheet that the script will use. This script will use to create it. Okay, this is the script, the location and what it will do. We can see it later. And the user add transformers with local. This is the script. Return back. Okay, this is one, the login script. This is the script that will be attached to every Active Directory user. Okay, you can see from here there is what I said from a couple of seconds. This is the registry keys that will be done, and this is the program that will log off the server after 300 or 3000 seconds. The first three keys for the registry key also it does the following. This PC it's not doesn't appear on desktop by default. What it does that it make this icon appears on desktop, and also will change the name to the name of the PC. It will not call this PC, it will be called by the computer name, desktop LTM. You will see that this PC is changed to desktop-TLM-MQ1, the one that you named your computer app. So the first three is to make the desktop this PC appear and rename it to your computer name. Okay, this is for the domain. Okay, this is the group policy that contains a couple of group policies that I have. One for the Chrome, one for Firefox, one for the Office. We will copy all of this to our group policy in Windows. So we have, if you want to manage not only the Windows, the Chrome and the Firefox and a lot of programs, we will use this group policy, collection of group policy that I have. And for the scripts, this is the scripts. The first line is a script to create the organization unit. Okay, we will see this, the organization unit. This is the structure of the Active Directory. For example, this is the one. When we create the Active Directory, it will be called transformers.local. The first organization will be Cybertron, and then AI users. This is for the users, and serverbot and compubot, security groups, and the robots. By the way, robots it's computers, but 2 computer units. Okay, and this is all of them. This is the organization unit, and this line of script will create it. Okay, for the steps, first of all we will create the OU, and then we will go, if you haven't step we see it in the lab, then we will go to the users to create it from this script, and then we will go back after that. After the OU is created and the users are created, we will create the groups, security groups. Okay, this is all of the security groups. By the way, TR is its abbreviation to transformers. Okay, this is the groups. It will be done through the script. This is the description of every one of them. You can see it. Okay, and then after creating the groups, the organization structure, and then the users, and then the groups, then we will have the group membership. Okay, by the way, the first line is for the OU. second line is for the groups, the third line is for the group members. We'll put the users in their respective groups. For example, this user will be in the IT group, this user will be in the engineering group. Okay, this is done through this, and these last two lines will create the computers. Okay, you can see it from this. This is the computers. Okay, this is the I say that there is a standard in naming the servers. For example, this is HP Gen 8, this is the model, and then the server, and then bot 3. This is the standard I use in naming. You can use the standard that you wish or that you like. And this is the location. We will use the location later if you want to make a dynamic access control list. You can see it in my Star Trek lab. This is how to limit the access by using the location of the computer as an entry. Okay, we will see it later in the lab. Okay, this is the computers. Okay, and this is the robots. Okay, and then after that, the same is computers, and then after that we will have a script for making the shares. Okay, this is, for example, I have a share called security. Okay, and I need the security group called TR security to access this and give it modify or change. This is all of the department shares and their respective rights. Okay, and I want the IT to have a full access to all of the shares or all of the department shares. Okay, and then after that I want to remove everyone from all of the shares. By default everyone is there. I want to remove it and put the respective groups that I have. This is for the department shares, okay, or the SMB shares, and then after that we will put our NTFS shares. Okay, this is also an Excel sheet. Here is the folder, and then this is the respective group, and this is the folder, and this is the full control. I need the IT to have a full control of the following shares, and every respective group with its respective folder. Okay, and this is the script. Okay, this is the one script, and this is the Excel sheet. Okay, and then we have another script that will create folders. For example, you have 30 or 50 folders, you need to create them. This is a simple script to create folders, okay, for your shared departments over department shares. And this is the text file that you will read from. For example, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 folders to be created for my department shares. This script will do it. And then we have the home user or the user share. By default, or you need to have, for every user you will have two shares, one his private share and the department share. Okay, you can name it or map it as M or L. For example, this script, it will give you, okay, the user, every user, and they will make it as an L. Okay, this is the name of the mapping drive, and every user will have a share by his name. This is the script, and this is the script, and it will read from this Excel sheet. This is the name of the user or the SAM account, the user name, and the location of this user. Okay, so mostly this is all of the scripts that we will use. Okay, and this is all until we are going to the next video. Thank you and goodbye.